And it's sort of the typical story of necessity is the mother of invention. I essentially was, doing the typical Bay Area startup scene. As you said, I worked for Google and for PayPal as well. But sort of there was always some other project that was ongoing. My wife is from the Philippines, and so I asked her if her sister could potentially, who was at the time living in the Philippines, help me with some of the administrative burden that I had sort of for all these additional projects. That basically became sort of the idea that this is something that's very useful. And so I actually started sort of floating the idea with a couple of friends, what they thought, looked for a potential co-founder who eventually became my first client. What excites me is to sort of see somebody who, in a sense, you recognize certain traits or excitements that are around, but they're 20, 30 years younger than you, and so it's almost like there's sort of a genuine like wanting to give back to the community. You see the enthusiasm of somebody who's a generation younger than you, and they want to do something and they want to change it, and you recognize their intelligence. Just that sort of, for me, is very contagious. The type of people that you hire have to have the self-discipline and the self-respect to perform a good job, whether somebody's watching them or not. And that goes obviously beyond people that are working remotely. But I think, working remotely is definitely something that challenges some people as to maintain their professionalism. By and large, every single person that works at YRA has a team manager. And that team manager is basically there to make the onboarding, which is hugely important, the first couple of weeks of an interaction with the client, make that onboarding a success. The biggest thing for us is to organize things such that you have a process for different things, whether it's for the recruiting, whether it's for evaluation, whether it's, any kind of aspect of this, the training that people get, sort of all these things. To have somebody in the organization who, sort of takes that responsibility up and sort of tries to document those things and sort of have create a playbook, if you will, of the different aspects, all the different things that need to happen in order to provide a client with a continuously efficient or effective assistant. The fact that we did that relatively early on, I think helped us a lot in sort of getting to a place where it's not mayhem. When AI started developing, a very small part of our business was sort of in the customer service area. And I would say from that perspective, as a threat, that is a real threat, because you have effectively a database of knowledge that, any customer service person, at the end of the day, what they look at is that the database that tells them, okay, for this, for that, and so forth. So it's a structured environment that's easily replaceable by AI. But the trust issue with, the results that AI is providing us right now in terms of if you're asking it to do a query. And so at what point are you, depending on the decision that you make, 95% accuracy may not be good enough. My fear, just like with many things, is that getting to the 99.9% is going to take a lot longer than getting to the 95%.